Hi everyone, it's Jason. Today coming to you with a Curious Kids class. Today we're going to talk about wind and air and what things wind and air can help power, or what kind of things wind and air can help with. I'm going to show you some pictures now and you tell me what you think whether wind and air can help power these things or help these things or not. So the first thing we have is a turbine. So I don't know, what do you think? You think wind powers that? Or air? Next we have some boats. Do you think the boats use the air or the wind to help them? I don't know. Some balloons. What do you think? People? Do you think air or wind helps people? And we have some animals. Do you think air and wind helps animals? And trees and forests and plants. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think wind and air helps with all those things? Well, the answer is yes. Wind and air helps with all those things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the wind turbine. So these are made in big fields. You can see them up north in northern Indiana a lot. But they use the wind and they convert that into the electricity. So what happens is the wind starts blowing and then the turbine starts turning, and it is hooked up to a rotor that starts a generator that creates electricity. So it causes a big chain reaction. So that's basically how a wind turbine works. Now these boats, the smaller one is called a sailboat, and the bigger one in the back is called a clipper ship. And they use the sails on the boat to move. When the wind blows, they put the sails up if the wind's blowing in the direction they want to go, and they move the sails to catch the wind, and the wind blows the boat. It helps the boat travel. Next we have the hot air balloon. Of course, air is in its name, so of course air helps the hot air balloon. And the way the hot air balloon works is hot air is blown into the balloon, and hot air rises because hot air is lighter than cold air. And as it rises up, the air gets colder, and the balloon's air that's inside the balloon is hotter, so it rises. Then when they want to come down, they cool down the air, and then the balloon will start coming down. So that's how the hot air balloon. So those three, I know you knew that air and wind helps. But what about people? People are something that I don't think we really think about, that air and wind helps people. We breathe in air, and when we breathe in the air, we breathe in all kinds of gases. And one of the gases that we breathe in is oxygen. And we need oxygen in our body to help us breathe. So yes, air helps with people. And the same is true for animals. The animals breathe in the air and get the oxygen to help them, and they breathe out carbon dioxide, which brings us to the forest. Trees and plants actually breathe in the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, and that's how they breathe and live. So wind and air is very important. Those are a few things that wind and air helps with, and that we use wind and air for. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our own air-powered car. So what you'll need is an empty bottle. It can be a water bottle, a Gatorade bottle, any kind of empty bottle. You're going to need 4 bottle lids. You're going to need a rubber band. You're going to need some sticks or some skewers, whatever you want to call them. I have 2 different sizes because I don't know which size is going to work the best. You're going to need 3 straws, a balloon, some scissors, some tape, and you're going to need an X-Acto knife. So you'll need a parent to help you with this so you don't cut yourself. So, because these knives are very sharp. So we're going to create an air power car. So first off, we're going to turn our bottle sideways. So what does the car need? The car needs some wheels. So how are we going to do that? We're going to take the straw. We're going to take the straw to the bottom. But we don't need it to be that long, so we can cut the straw down. I'm going to cut one side of the straw. I'm going to cut it a little shorter. You can make it as long as short as you want to. In fact, you can use different straws. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to take our second straw and we're going to cut it to the same length as our first straw. Just like that. Now we have two straws equal, and these are going to be the axles on our water bottle. So we're going to take these onto our water bottle, hold them on into place. I'm going to use a few pieces of tape on each straw to make sure it stays good and in place, because we don't want those to move. And my water bottle actually has little grooves in it so that the straw can fit in the groove very easily, very nicely, and just stay put. Then we're going to put one on the front side and tape it. Just like this. Put a couple pieces of tape on there. Now you have a water bottle with something like this with two straws on it. What we're going to do next is we're going to take, I'm going to measure, my short skewers are too short, so we're going to use a longer skewer, and we're going to stick inside the straw like that. And we don't need all of it, we just need it to stick out just a little bit. So I'm going to cut part of this off just to make a little cut, and it should break just like that. And we want the other one to be the same length, and you might want a parent to help you with this. So I'm just going to take my scissors and push on there, and that's going to weaken my skewer so I can break it. So now we have that. So our skewers go in here, and our straws. And if you kind of see, you can kind of spin the skewers in the straws, and that's what you want. So we're going to set that down. Now we're going to go to our lids. And this is where you're going to need a parent's help, because you're going to have to use a sharp knife to cut a hole in the center of each lid. So we're going to do that. Like I said, this is where you need your parents' help so you don't cut yourself. And it's kind of hard to do. So we're just going to cut our hole in each skewer here. When we have our hole cut, we're going to put it on our wheel. Let's see, up, and then cut it big enough, so I have to make a little bigger hole. And you want to try to get this as close to the center as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, just close. And you're going to do this on all four of your lids. Just make a little hole in your lid. I know it's hard to see, and until it fits on your skewer. There we go. So that one fits on mine. So we're going to do that to all of our lids. So this takes a little bit of time, but that's okay. And these are going to be our wheels for our car. And like I said, you'll definitely want to get a parent to help you with this, because it is hard to cut the plastic on these. And mine aren't perfect hole. My holes aren't round or kind of triangular. It doesn't really matter as long as they fit tightly. You want them to fit kind of tight on your skewer. That one's not big enough yet, so I have to cut a little bit more. More out here. I know this takes a little bit of time, but it'll be fun once we get it done. Let's see if that fits now. Yes. So you can push those almost right up against the straw. Like I said, you want it to be tight. And as you notice, it'll spin. So push those right up. You don't want them too close to the straw, because if you put them too close to the straw, then it won't spin. So you want to make sure they spin. So now we have to cut our other two lids out. So we'll do that. Again, be very careful. The knife is very sharp. Definitely get a parent to help you with this part, because we don't want to get cut or hurt. Because that would not be fun. I'm having problems. This one doesn't want to cut very well. The piece doesn't want to come out. There we go. We put that on our back wheel or on our back axle. Like I said, you want it to fit kind of tight. And we got one more to cut out. And again, let your adult do this part so you don't cut yourself. Because this is a really sharp knife that you have to use to do this. Be very, very careful so you don't cut yourself. Let me put that one on. The back one, this one may be a little small. I'll have to cut this one out just a little bit more. There we go, that should work. There we go, it does work. And now we have our wheels on our car. So you can see that our car will roll now. And it should look like this. And if you want to, if you have part of your skewer sticking out, you can cut the ends off that, like that, so they're not sticking out too far. So, just like that. So now we have a nice little car that will roll. The next thing we need to do, and again you'll need your parent, you need to cut a hole in the top of your car, a hole big enough that your straw is going to fit in. So, right in here. So again, you're going to use this sharp knife, so be very careful. You're just going to cut a hole. Hole on the top of your car. Make sure your straw fits in there. You don't want it to be too tight. That's good. Don't want it to be too tight where it's pinching the straw, because your air is going to have to go through the straw to move your car. And you'll see that in a minute. So, I'm just going to cut this a little bit bigger. So you're going to put the straw on the top of your hole and have it sticking out the back. Then you're going to take your balloon. Always put your lid back on your knife so you don't get cut. Take your balloon and put on your straw. Straw. Then take your rubber band and and rubber band your straw to your balloon. So your balloon doesn't come off. I got kind of a big rubber band here because that's all I had. But you just need a little rubber band, and you just make sure to twist this so it's nice and tight on your straw. Then you should be able to blow your balloon up. With your straw, you kind of hold the tip, put your straw back in your hole where it comes out the end. So it should look like this. And then if we let our balloon go, our car should go. Well, I think my rubber band's on too tight. Yep, I think the rubber band's on too tight. There it goes. So you don't want your rubber band on too tight. So let's take that off. And loosen our rubber band up a little bit. So the problem was we weren't getting enough air out because the rubber band was pushing too much. Let's try again. Sometimes stuff doesn't work the way you want it to. Then we'll blow up the balloon again. And let's let go. Well, it didn't work again, and that's okay. So we'll just keep trying here till we get it. Maybe if we tape the balloon instead of using a rubber band, maybe that will work better. Take a piece of tape around our balloon and tape our balloon to the straw. That might work better. Let's see if that works any better. Nope. Now the straw won't stay on. Or the balloon won't stay on. So we'll just have to play with this a few times. I'm gonna try the rubber band one more time. See if we can get this to work. This is all part of science. Sometimes stuff doesn't work the way you want to, so you try and try until you get it. So I'm having a little trouble here, and that's okay. That's part of the fun is learning from our mistakes. That's what science is all about. Let's see if we can get it working in. There it goes. It will go a little bit. You just have to play with that rubber band until you get the right tightness around so the air will go through. But you get the point. What will happen is you'll blow the balloon up, and after you blow it up, the air from the balloon will blow out the straw and push the car. And that is your balloon-powered car. So I hope you enjoy this. Sometimes things don't work out like they're supposed to, and that's okay. We know what the problem is. We'll just have to fix it. So you may have to play with your rubber band tightness around your balloon until you get it just right. But once you do, you can blow that balloon up and your car will go on its own from wind power. So hope you enjoy this. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.